Today we will do the second part of the lesson Art is for Everyone. I hope you have watched the first part of the lesson, read the text very well, and understood it thoroughly. If you have not watched the first part of the lesson, then I suggest you do so before you watch this video. Here is an easy link to it. But if you have watched it, let's move on. For all those who are new here, I'm Melaine from English Made Easy, and this channel is dedicated to creating easy and interesting lessons so that you can improve your English in an enjoyable way. It is easy to improve your English with a story. Follow the story on the screen while I read it to you, and you will improve your reading, pronunciation, spelling, vocabulary, and comprehension skills. At the end of the lesson, I have some questions for you to answer. Do you like my easy lessons? If so, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you will get notified each time I post new content. Every lesson I make is simple, easy to understand, and interesting. Check it out. Let's begin with part 2 of the lesson. Art is for everyone. So I'm continuing with the lesson that we started. Hello, everybody, he said. Who said? Uncle Dot. Do you remember that he was sitting on a bench and he was drawing? He was drawing fishermen who were doing something in their boat. Tippity Witchet introduced Margaret and her mother to Uncle Dot and showed him Margaret's drawing. Well, this is nice. Uncle Dot studied the drawing and said, I like the way you showed all the flowers in Tippity's garden, and that's a very cheerful sun in the sky. Art is such great fun, is it not? Everyone agreed that it was. Look here, said Uncle Dot. Why don't all of you sit down and draw or paint with me for a while? I have lots of art supplies. Use whatever you like. So, what's happening on this page? Uncle Dot has seen Margaret's drawing, and does he like it? Yes, of course he does. He loves Margaret's drawing. He tells her that it is very nice. Why? Because he likes the way that Margaret has shown all the flowers in Tippity's garden, and she has drawn a very cheerful, bright sun in the sky. And he continues by telling everyone that art is great fun. And they all agree with him. Art is great fun. So Uncle Dot tells them, why don't we all sit down and draw or paint? And they agree. He said that he had lots of art supplies. He had color pencils, crayons, paints, chalk, anything that anyone would want to use. So he told them, use whatever you like and come join me. Let's draw. Draw with me. Margaret's mother said, oh, I can't draw well at all, but the rest of you, please go ahead. I will watch. Nonsense, said Tippity, as she found some colored pencils. Of course you can. I'm going to use these pencils to draw. Margaret, what would you like? Margaret chose markers and her mother picked out a few bits of colored chalks, something she liked to draw with when she was a child. In no time, everyone was busy drawing and painting. People stopped by to see how they were doing and said nice things about their work. So, what's this about? Margaret's mother refused to join them and draw. She said she believed and she said that she could not draw well, so she did not want to draw. She said, why don't you all draw and I'll just sit here and watch you drawing. Tippity, of course, did not agree with the plan. She said, no, nonsense. That is not going to happen. So, what was Tippity Witchet going to use? She decided that she would use some colored pencils. She liked to draw and color with color pencils. Of course you can, she said. I'm going to use these pencils to draw, the colored pencils. Margaret, what would you like? So, what did Margaret choose? Margaret chose markers, and her mother picked out a few bits of colored chalks because her mother liked to draw and color with colored chalks. She used to do it when she was a child, so it brought back some childhood memories, and she knew that she would probably do much better if she used chalk. In no time, everyone was busy drawing and painting. They were engrossed in what they were doing. They were enjoying themselves. People stopped by to see how they were doing and said nice things about their work. Nobody said anything bad. They were admiring everyone's drawing and coloring, painting. They said nice things and only nice things. The artists listened to the sounds of seagulls overhead. So there were seagulls there. You know, when you're close to the sea, you always have seagulls. And the creaks and thuds of the boats rocking on gentle waves. They smelled ropes and nets and fish and the sea itself. They got this lovely smell of the sea and salt in the ropes and nets and fish because they were close to the sea. They were having a splendid time, a wonderful time. What could they hear? They could hear seagulls. You know how seagulls screech? Those who have been close to a sea will know what I mean. They can really screech when they fly overhead. And they could hear creaks and thuds of the boats rocking on gentle waves. They could smell things too. What could they smell? Ropes, nets, fish, and the sea. And they were having such a wonderful time over there, drawing, coloring, painting, smelling, listening to sounds. Later in the afternoon, the smell of food being cooked in nearby houses made the artists hungry, so they agreed to stop for the day. So it was afternoon when they stopped. Why did they stop? Because they could smell food being cooked in the nearby houses and that made them hungry. They tacked their art onto an old board. Tacked meaning just put it there with a pin, maybe a drawing pin. They tacked it, placed it on an old board, fixed it there, and stepped back to see what the others had done. Now it was time for them to admire each other's drawing. Each piece was different. Everyone had seen the same things. They were looking at the same sight. What were they looking at? Boats, fishermen, the sea, the sky, and the sun. They could see the same things, but each person drew or painted those things in his or her own way. So while they all saw the same scene, they all had a different interpretation of the scene. They all drew everything differently. They had their own style, and each one's drawing was beautiful. Delightful, said Tippity. They're all very interesting, are they not? This was great fun, said Margaret's mother. So from that day on, Margaret and her mother enjoyed drawing and painting. They didn't care if others thought their work was good or not because they knew that it didn't matter at all. That's a moral for you too. If you think that you can't draw, you're not good at drawing, that is stuff and nonsense, as Tippity would say. Rubbish. You can draw. Everyone can draw. Everyone's drawing is different and everyone's drawing is beautiful. An artist perceives things in his or her own way, and it is exquisite no matter what it is that the artist creates. So let's see if you understood this part of the story. Let's see if you can get these right. The first question for you: Uncle Dot liked or hated Margaret's drawing? Easy one, isn't it? He liked it. The second: Margaret had drawn birds or flowers in Tippity's garden? Flowers. Third: Margaret used markers or paints for her drawing? What do you think? What did she use? This is tricky. You have to remember carefully. Markers. What about Margaret's mother? Margaret's mother used marker as a chalk for her drawing, something that she liked using as a child. What was it? Chalk. They could hear crows or seagulls overhead. What was the sound they heard? The screeching sound. Seagulls. And they could smell fish or cake. Was there a bakery close by? No, I don't think so. They could smell fish. They were by the ocean, by the sea. Did you get them all right? Thanks for watching today's video. If there was any part of it that you did not understand, please let me know and I will explain that part to you again. And if there is anything that you need help with, any question that you did not understand, anything that your teacher asks you to do and you don't know how to do it, please don't hesitate to contact me. You could write a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if the lesson was good today, don't leave without hitting that like button. Share the lesson with your friends. And if you have not subscribed and would like to receive such lessons in the future, then I think you should subscribe. Please do so. I hope to meet you again in the next lesson. And the next lesson is going to be the questions and answers from this lesson. So do come back for the next one. And until we meet again, bye.